In the Name of Love, a painted prison unveiling the mothers, brush and shut in OG and Clair Obscuro, Expedition 33. In the vast galaxy of fantasy storytelling, creation myths are usually grand and distant. Worlds are born from the corpses of giants or from the explosive energy of the boy. Yet, to works separated by over 30 years have achieved a chilling resonance regarding the ultimate mystery of the origin of the world. One is Go Naga's classic 80 Seconds OVA, a masterpiece of dark, violent aesthetic shut in OG. The other is the 2025 RPG that shocked the industry with its breathtaking French art style Clair Obscur Expedition 33. At first glance, they seem worlds apart. One is the gritty violence of the Showa era, the other is the polished, high-minded fantasy of the next generation. Beneath their vastly different skins lies the same heartbreaking truth. The terrifying worlds we fight against are merely the creations of a mother, wielding a brush dipped in the madness of losing her son. A twilight of the gods that pain trays, SS curse. Every story begins with a struggle. In Clair Obscur Expedition 33, players face a world shrouded in despair Lumiere. In this realm, a deity known as the Paintress holds the power over life and death. Once a year, she awaits to paint a number upon her monolith. That number represents an age. Everyone of that age is instantly erased. To break this cycle of death, the expedition sets out on a god-minus-saying journey, attempting to destroy the Paintress and then the curse of the painted world. In Shut and OG, the protagonist Yero faces the Oni realm, a dimension teeming with monsters known as Oni that devour and slaughter, constantly encroaching upon human reality. Yero, a boy bearing the blood of the Oni, wields a vara and battles through gore and carnage to uncover the truth of his lineage and resist this seemingly infinite dark dimension. In the first half of both stories, the audience believes they are witnessing the classic hero's journey, the brave fighting the demon king, humanity resisting the divine. However, when the plot pierces the core, when the canvas named the reality is torn open, we are struck by a realization these worlds are not natural. They were manufactured, crafted by the deepest love and the maddest pain. I Asylum graffiti verses, the landscapes of Lumiere. The similarity peaks at the revelation of the creator. In the most spine-minus chilling twist of Shut and OG, the camera does not pan to a demon lord in deep space, but pulls back to a mental hospital or isolation room in the real world. Inside is Yero West's adopted mother, Kyoko. Years prior, when Yero was an infant, he was taken by an Oni. Kyoko suffered a mental collapse. During her long confinement, she lost her reason but gained the crystal divinity. In that sealed room, using her fingernails for blight and paste, she frantically covered the four walls with drawings. She drew demons. She drew hell. She drew slaughter. The only realm is simply these four walls. The powerful demons that pushed the protagonist to his limits were merely the manifestation of a mother's grudge. That massive other world was physically just graffiti on a wall. When the adoptive father finally smashes the wall with a sledgehammer, the plaster peels and the magnificent Oni realm crumbles with it. This scene is not only the ultimate display of idealism, but a terrifying presentation of maternal love mutated into madness. 30 years later, Expedition 33 reenacts this setting in a way that is more beautiful, yet even more sorrowful. The painted world of the game is essentially a sanctuary created by a lion. A lion was not born a cruel paintress. She was a mother who lost her son, Verso. To escape the reality of his death or to keep his phantom alive in a fictional space-time, she used the power of Clair Obscur. She wielded her brush not to record the world, but to overwrite it. The surreal landscapes of Lumiere, the aesthetics that defy physics, are all projections of a lion's inner world. She sealed herself inside this painted reality, becoming an omnipotent guide. Those numbers she paints the Arasur of people are less a curse and more a ritual to maintain balance in the static false eternity, or perhaps a form of self minus punishment. A prison built of love. Why do two stories so far apart in time choose the exact same core? Because the image of a world painted by a mother is the perfect metaphor for the extreme forms of PTSD and escapism. And Shut and OG Crayola painting is a cage of fury. Having lost her child, she rejected the cruel objective world and created an Oni realm filled with violence and revenge. In this world, her subconscious perhaps wished for her son to be strong and only to dominate everything, to never be taken again. Her brush is sharp, filled with hatred for others and a curse upon fate. It is a mad manifesto of a mother declaring war on the world to protect the memory of her child. In Expedition 33, a lion's painting is an amber of sorrow. Compared to Kyoko's mania, a lion's creation is tragic and beautiful. She attempts to freeze time using art to build a utopia where death is controlled by rules she dictates. But this utopia, built on a lie, inevitably moves toward decay. The more she tries to sustain this false world with her painting, the stronger reality bites back, eventually leading to the birth of the expedition, which represents her subconscious desire for self minus destruction, for shattering the illusion. The essence is the same. A mother, unable to bear the pain of losing a child, rejects the real objective world and retreats into a subjective world of her own making. It is the ultimate solipsisms. In this loop formed by the mother's will, the protagonist, whether Euro or the expedition, is both the prisoner of this world and the sole reason for its existence. Abimat, Rikide, breaking the wall, the ultimate cost of growth. This setting presents the protagonist with an unavoidable ethical dilemma and an existential crisis. If the world is painted by the mother, then the definition of same world is completely inverted. Traditional heroes save the people by defeating the demon king. But in Shut and OG in Expedition 33, the hero must destroy the mother's masterpiece and perhaps the mother herself to reach the truth. For Euro, the collapse of the Oni realm means he must face his half-minded human, half-minded demon nature, and accept the fact that his mother is insane and is actually the source of all the horror. Breaking the wall of painting is breaking the terrifying cradle she wove for him. For Expedition 33, the journey against the paintress is along their by. They're not just fighting a time, they are fighting the mother's endless grief. To return the world to normalcy or in the cycle, they must force a line to put down the brush and face the one thing she fears most, the real world where her son is dead. It is a destined ritual of Matt Rikide. This is not necessarily physical elimination, but a spiritual weaning. The protagonist must deny the false reality created by the mother, no matter how colorful that reality is or how cold the real world outside may be. Shut and OG used the rough, gritty runs of the 80 seconds to depict this wall minus breaking as a bloody, visceral event. Expedition 33 uses mana and CG to render this shattering as dreamlike and ephemeral. But when the brush snaps, when the paint dries, what is left for the audience and the player is a profound sense of powerlessness. B conclusion, the reality beyond the canvas. Although Shut and OG and Claire Obscure Expedition 33 differ vastly in art style, gameplay, and narrative pacing, they share the same tragic soul. They both teach us that human emotion possesses the terrifying power to twist reality. When a mother's love and pain reach their zenith, he truly can create a world. Kyoko painted hell on the walls of an asylum, I'm painted Lumiere in the void. They are both great artists and pitiful prisoners. And for the children wrapped within the painting, the final step of growing up is not to conquer the world, but to wipe the tears from their mother's eyes and gently say, Mom, put down the brush. It's time to wake up. This is the cruelest yet most poignant fable about love obsession, and many know that these two masterpieces spanning generations offer us